Alright, let's hurry this up because I'm hungry. See how committed I am to this recording process? I'm like all about, I guess, that bass. I don't know. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have made that reference. Sounded like something falling. What was that? I heard it too. Let's open the drawer. Boop. And I forgot to pull the handle in the other room, damn it. Okay. This is what the moon symbol is pointing to, huh? Probably made it so that someone wouldn't trigger it by accident. If that's the case. Yeah, I get it second time. 3, 4, 5. Yikes. 7. Click. Huh? Did you hear something? I heard a loud flushing noise. No, not that. You silly goose. Why are you so silly, you big silly? You're silly. The only thing you can manipulate in this room is that string. Chances are they made this puzzle so someone wouldn't trigger it by accident. Yun. I guess I should just keep pulling on the string then. Alright, here goes. Second pull. Third pull. There we go. This change noise. There it is again. It makes some kind of weird sound when I pull on that string. Same thing happened in the other room. That means, I don't know. Don't you think it's a little suspicious that the other room gave us a hint to figure out this one out? You're right. The room next door is just like this one, so that leaves the dark room. I never played that game, but I hear it's pretty good. Actually, I might have played it. I don't even remember anymore. Boop. Give me those 2 tiles. Well, the drawer opens easily enough. Give me those tiles. There's something in the desk. Those tiles. Give it to me. Boop. Boop. And if I recall correctly, 14 equals E, which should do nicely here. Okay. Well, it looks like we've investigated all the rooms. The only mystery left is that door. Alright, let's crack that mystery then. We got 4 tiles. And there are a bunch of tiles that are the same size up on the wall here. So if we replace 4 of the tiles on the wall with the ones we've got, that should open the door. Well, there's only one way to find out. Boop. 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 Hey, did you just hear something unlock? Does that mean we got it right? Yeah, looks like we did. The 14 hidden on the tile. If you convert that to hexadecimal, it's an E. Basically, the E's and emerge inside the 14s from the tiles. So if we replace it, that gives up the answer. You really care why it works? Let's just get out of here. Word. Yes, let's go. I found it. Hooray. They passed through the open door and headed to the next room. Junpei jogged down the short staircase and looked around. Whoa. What the hell is this place? The words had sprung unbidden to his lips, but it was clear why. Junpei shivered. Lovers and 7 reached the bottom of the stairs and stopped short, terrified. This room is really creepy. I think we ought to get the hell out of here, now. He jogged up the stairs on the opposite side of the room and shook the door on the wall next to the catwalk. Didn't open, and he muttered to himself. Figures. It's locked, isn't it? Yep. Don't know why I thought this one would be any different. Junpei looked around the room again. In the center of it was a chair. The back of it was covered with electrodes connected to a nest of wires. Beneath it was a strange glass panel. Junpei wasn't sure what it was for, but it made him uncomfortable. Whatever might have been beyond the glass, Junpei couldn't tell. It was too dark. Junpei turned to look at the right side of the room. There was a table covered with a piece of cloth. Parts of the cloth were stained with something that looked suspiciously like blood. On top of the table were a number of metal instruments. Junpei didn't know what they were for, but he had a feeling he didn't want to find out. His mind began to imagine what could have taken place in that dark, cold room. The things he imagined were not pleasant. Junpei shook his head in an attempt to clear it and tried to focus on something else. Anyway, we don't want to stay here any longer than we got to. Let's figure out the puzzle and get the hell out of here. Come on. Yeah! You got it, homie. First, this looks suspicious. Red, yellow. Think the colors mean something? No idea. I mean, red looks more dangerous, but other than that, the bottom of this one looks like it's covered in rust. I don't think it'll move at all. The needle on the gauge is at 0. It doesn't look like it's going to move. There are a ton of knobs here. Doesn't seem like any of them do anything though. Oh, it sounds like you knob. Do you think it's broken? All the dials are pointing in different directions. Maybe something will happen if we turn them? Ha! Shoot. They're all rusted. I guess turning them doesn't really do anything. These levers have got to turn something on. Of course they would. All they can do is turn something on or off. What's important is what they turn on or off. Don't say the floor is going to suddenly open up. There are a bunch of buttons here with the letters A through F on them. I wonder if they do anything. Down you go! So if I press it again, back you come. Guess these buttons switch something on or off when you push them. How about the flow? What's wrong, Junpei? What are you doing on the floor? I thought maybe if I got down here, I could see through the glass. It's not working though. You don't think it's just a large sheet of glass they put into an indentation? I don't know. I mean, why would they do that? The placement of the chair. You're not making sense, Junpei. What's your point? Well, I'm not sure, but don't you think there's something under the glass? Very well could be. A really creepy chair. The manacles make me think it was used to torture people. No? We can't open these manacles without a key. Some sort of weird symbol on them. What kind of symbol? Well, if I got this right, I think it's a sun symbol. You didn't know. There's something on the screen. This device will conduct the experiment. Once the experiment has been completed, the door will unlock. First, adjust the switches to match the blocks in the sample above. Huh? I don't know what this thing is, but we gotta figure out this puzzle. It's right next to a torture chair. Whatever it is, I don't think it's good. Anyway, you just adjust the switches to match the blocks up on top, right? You adjust the switches shown on the 4 corners of the screen, and then press the check button. Junpei, we don't know what this thing does. You can always come back to it later. There are lots of other things you can do. Like a boatload of heroin. Oh, cool. Yep, I'm a genius. Adjustment is completed. Now proceeding to execution phase. To complete the experiment, data must be collected from subject. Once preparation is finished, place subject in chair. Whoa! I thought we solved the puzzle already. What does it mean by preparation? I don't know. I've got a bad feeling about this. I think this means one of us has got to sit in the chair. Well, 7's never going to fit in that thing. It's either you or me, Junpei. I volunteer as tribute. Collecting data. I wonder if it's going to run electricity through the subject. There's a human head on the screen. Maybe it's going to zap the brain with a little electricity. This really doesn't sound safe. Anyway, we still gotta prepare. We can talk about this after we figured out what it means by preparation, alright? Well, it wants us to prepare, so maybe we ought to ask it what we need to do. There, the disposal tank is closed. Please fill tank with water. What tank? Oh man, don't tell me we gotta do something with the water tank. Well, there's probably something around here to open the tank, or whatever it's asking us to do. Looks like the only controls are in this room. Keep the beat funky. Oh, hey, what's up? What about the rest of it? A number of rusty torture tools are lined up here. I don't think there's anything else here we need. Suppose not. Of course, the entrance is locked. It's been like that in every room we've been in. What did you expect? There's no point to try to go back. Let's just think about going forward, alright? Hey, this pipe is connected to that thing over in the corner. I imagine there are electrical wires running through that pipe to the device. You may be right, Lotus. The cover's bolted on there pretty good. Should be able to get those bolts off with this wrench we just found, though. Easy as pie. Sweet, it's open. The hole's too small. You can't see in even with the cover off. Well, you can't see in, but I think there's enough room to stick your arm in. Are you sure you want to do that? There could be something dangerous in there. Okay, I admit, that scares me a little. But we need to see if there's anything useful in there. Alright, here we go. Arm into the hole. That's what she said. Hey, I think I can feel something. It's small, cold, and hard. Must be your penis. Doesn't feel like there's anything else in here. Alright, let's see what this thing is. Yeah! A key with the sun symbol on it. Should be able to open the other door with this. Yeah, but we gotta get out of this room before we can do that. And we're probably gonna need the sun key to do that. But none of the doors in this room have keyholes. I bet we gotta use it on something that's not a door. Like the manacles. Or the mandrels. Boop. I can see some oil or something down there at the base of the lever. Yeah, feels like it's got some movement to it. Should be able to pull this one. Alright, let's pull the lever. Is that water? What the hell? What's going on? Will you calm down? There's just water going somewhere. It sounds like it's underneath us. That means the floor. Oh! Junpei, look! What's she? Oh, damn! I can see through the glass now. Shall we? Well, I want to get this open first. Sun key should fit into the keyhole on these manacles. Alright, sun key, in you go. And yes! Great, they're open. I don't think we're gonna need the sun key again in here, though. Just seems unlikely. Alright, sun key, done your job. Into my pocket with you. EDBF. Oh, it's a shark? There are a couple of letters in the color blood written on the shark's belly. That was real lucky. It's dead. Looks like the letters are E, D, B, and F. Whatever these are for has to be in this room somewhere. How about this thing we were just looking at? E, D, B, F. What? There's a strange noise coming from the chair. It looks like it's been turned on. I guess the puzzle here is that power had to be sent in a specific way. Who knew? The restraining device is unlocked. Please seat subject in the device. The message on the screen was disturbingly detached. Well, like we thought, it's not going to work unless someone sits in it. How ironic that this would be the situation in which a slim, beautiful body is useful. Lotus, are you sure? I can sit in it, and you can solve. Junpei's right. If we screw it up... Seven couldn't bring himself to finish the thought. His eyes fell to the floor. Junpei followed them. Beneath him was the dead shark, floating underneath the glass. Perhaps it had been killed by an electric shock. I'll be fine. Even if I fall in, the shark is already dead. But... no one likes an indecisive man, Junpei. I can still give you advice from the chair, too, you know. I just don't want to stay in this room any longer than we have to. Go over to that screen and let's get this over with. Oh, and this is the part where we find out she's a cop. After her words had made it clear that Lotus would book no argument, she turned and walked toward the chair without hesitation. But she did not sit down. Despite what she had said, she did indeed feel hesitation. Her legs shook. Look, do you think you could do me one last favor? Don't say last. You're making me nervous. Just listen. If something happens to me, I want you to tell my daughters that I love them very much. No, tell them that I will always love them. Daughters? You've got kids? Yes, I do. I suppose they're about your age, Junpei. Wow, she is older than I thought. They're twins. I had them when I was young, after some things happened. I don't know. So what's she, late 30s, early 50s? Their names are Nona and... Wait! Nona? Junpei's words shut out before he even realized what he was saying. He remembered the story Seven had told him. Aoi, Light, and Nona. Those are their names. Well, some of them. But we don't know the other daughter's name because he cut her off. What an ass. The kids that were there. In the experiment, I mean. What the hell? What's wrong with you? Lotus took a step back from Junpei. Seven looked just as shocked as Junpei. He blinked his eyes rapidly, as if he weren't sure he was completely awake. No way, it couldn't. Lotus, is your last name Kashiwabara? Lotus's eyes went wide. How did you know that? Are you serious? What the hell is this? There's no way you're that kid's mom. What? That kid? What do you mean, that kid? Why are you acting like you've met her? Seven's brow furrowed. I have. What? Yeah, I met one of your kids. When? 9 years ago. Where? On this ship. Why were you... It's not a short story. I don't care how long it is. Tell me, please. What happened here? Seven glanced at Junpei, then turned back to Lotus and began to speak. It was the same story Junpei had heard only minutes before. Every detail. Yeah! Officer Hot Stuff. Oh no! Officer Doofy Face. Oh! At last, Seven finished. Lotus shook her head. Oh my god. Everything I've been looking for the last 9 years. The person who had all the answers was right here. Looking for? Yes, that's right. 9 years ago, my daughters disappeared. Then, 9 days later, they came back. They never told me what had happened to them over those 9 days. I took them to the doctor, but I was told they hadn't been hurt in any way. Still, I was sure that they had been through something terrible. So I couldn't bring myself to force them to talk about it. If I did, then I'd force them to relive whatever horrors they'd been through. I didn't have any choice. I had to try to ignore it and move on. A few months passed. Gradually, they started to act like they always had, before they disappeared. They smiled and made jokes and did all the silly things kids do. It got harder and harder for me to ask them about what happened. How could I ask them to remember that? Eventually, I knew there was no way I could do it. But I'm still a mother. I couldn't simply forget that something terrible had happened to my children. So I decided I would investigate what had happened on my own. I would find out what had happened during those 9 missing days. What did you find out? Nothing. The police pretended to be concerned, but they didn't do anything. Once the 16 children who'd gone missing come back, things were just swept under the rug. Even the media didn't talk about what had happened. I figured someone was probably paying or threatening them to keep their mouths shut. Cradle Pharmaceutical. No, probably something even bigger than that. Cradle Pharmaceutical? Have you heard of them before? No, that's the first time I ever heard that name. Seven, how did you find out that Cradle Pharmaceutical was connected to the kidnappings in the first place? I figured finding out whatever the victims had in common would lead me to the culprit. That's what any good cop does. What did they have in common? Every single one of the kids who disappeared had gone to this one hospital at some point. The hospital is one of a bunch that were under the control of Cradle Pharmaceutical. After that, it was just about connecting the dots. The hospital? The hospital. For a while, I was trying to get some kind of story out of the kids at the hospital. One of them told a weird story. What was it? Have you heard about the Gonsfeld experiment? Here we go. I guess all these kids had to go through it while they were at the hospital. I think it was passed off as some sort of counseling. Seven cleared his throat and proceeded to explain the Gonsfeld experiment. First, subjects Q and A are put into separate rooms far away from one another. Then, a series of video images are shown to subject Q, who is told to send the images to subject A by thinking about them. Subject A, on the other hand, is put in a large reclined chair and given a blindfold. With their senses cut off, A is asked to guess what image Q is looking at. Oh yes, I've heard of that. It's a famous telepathy experiment, isn't it? Telepathy. Junpei rolled the word over in his mind. That's how the experiment on the ship was supposed to work. The experiment to control people, right? Yeah. I don't know if any of the telepathy stuff really exists, but maybe someone from Cradle Pharmaceutical bought into it. Lotus grunted. Seven had been thinking hard for the last several minutes and finally spoke. Even if that is the case, I still don't get how that has anything to do with any of this. The Nonra game, Zero, why we were kidnapped? What does any of that have to do with telepathy? I know we brought all this up, but I have no idea. Maybe none of this stuff is connected after all. Several dots. Then, in that moment of silence, a cold voice echoed down from the ceiling. No subject has been detected. Unless the subject is detected within 60 seconds, all power will be shut down. System recovery is estimated to take 1 hour. If you wish to proceed with the experiment, please seat subject in the restraining device. Whoa, that doesn't sound good. Yeah. Okay, I'm going. Oh no, that's not what we... Just hurry up and get it over with. Junpei, I'm counting on you. Right. Lotus sat down on the chair. Junpei looked at her one last time, then made his way to the monitor. Lotus, please, tell me right away if you feel anything weird. You worry too much. Now get on with it and be a man, or June's going to leave you. Lotus was putting on the best act she could manage, but her legs were shaking so much that if she hadn't been sitting, she likely would have fallen down. Failure was not acceptable. Junpei took one last deep breath and stared at the monitor. Okay, looks good. Hey! The experiment has concluded. The door will now unlock. I can hear the door unlocking. And now we've got a new message. Release subject from the restraining device. Lotus, are you alright? Yes, I am. Glad nothing bad happened, but I do think my life just got a little bit shorter. Hold on, I'll get you out right away. Shouldn't take long for Seven and me to get her out of here. Let's get out of here now. Being a guinea pig is not for me. Damn straight. I don't ever want to see this thing again. No arguments here. Yeah! Seems like a good place as any to stop, so I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.